What's poppin', everybody? Wolf94. You guys know what this is gonna be. If there's one thing I've found out now that I'm doing YouTube, is how much easier it's just to voice your opinion, making a video, not just writing comments and shit. Okay, so yesterday on my feed, a video popped up called Code Geass, the worst writing ever, something like that. And it had the perfect thumbnail, with Euphemia. You guys already know this scene I'm talking about. And I just knew, okay, I'm definitely clicking this, and I know I'm definitely probably not going to agree with this. But I clicked on the video. It's from a guy called BestGuyEver, and I really disagree completely with what he's saying. But I mean, either way, the video was kind of funny too, and I subscribed to the dude actually. He has some cool videos, but this video I definitely disagree for sure. So here's the thing. He talks about, and I'm pretty sure many people agree, it's a famous thing that people agree for Code Geass, that moment with Euphemia where uh, Lelouch used his Geass on her and she went ahead and started killing all the Japanese people, that it's bad writing. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say this. First of all, you guys are inclined to believe what you like, you have your opinion, and I want to give my opinion now that I've seen this. I knew that I wanted to say what I want to say when I saw this. So, first of all, I did not like that scene at all when it comes to uh, sympathizing, when it comes to how you want things to turn out the best for the characters that you like from the show, for Euphemia, for Lelouch. It was extremely, extremely sad and bad luck. It was just terrible. It was just so sad. It's one of the top scenes where I just wish so badly. Man, I just wish this didn't happen. Things turned out differently. Euphemia had all the best intentions. She did nothing wrong. She didn't deserve this. Damn shame. Why should this happen? So I don't really like that scene. It's not like I love this scene, and that's why I'm saying this is a great scene. I hate the scene. I don't like the scene as much as you guys do. It's just sad. It's just terrible. But just because I hate it or you guys hate it and it's just a completely negative bad luck scene, like nothing good happened from that scene basically, it's just everything went wrong, does not mean that it's bad writing. This is one of the things that I notice, and it kind of bothers me, not just for this show but for many animes and shows in general, is that just because some people don't like a scene or don't like something that happened for the show, even though it was a complete possibility, they just say, oh man, it's bad writing, I'm dropping the show, it got shit thanks to this kind of thing. Like another show that I really like that maybe you guys don't even know, Rumbling Hearts, Kimi ga no Zomuien. That's another one of the shows that people think it's a good show, but then think that, okay, the ending definitely ruins the whole show. Like that ending was terrible. And it isn't terrible either. Just because we didn't get our way, or the people that wanted the dude to end up with a certain girl, he didn't end up with her, and what have you. You kind of have to understand it from the writer's perspective too. But that's a different topic for a different day. So with Code Geass, the whole thing is what this guy is talking about is that how unlikely it was for Lelouch and his Geass to activate at that crucial moment. Like, what the hell kind of luck would it be for him to just be looking at her and the Geass activating at that moment and him saying something like kill all the Japanese people. It is very unlikely, yeah, that's true, but it is not impossible. He also gives some kind of false information, I have to point out, saying that they were just like, taking the piss, and Lucius just goes, hey, it would be so crazy for me to just say for you to kill all the Japanese people. But no, it's not how it happened. She was wondering, hey, when they finally agree that they're gonna help each other, she wonders, dude, like, how were you gonna uh, persuade me? Did you think I'm so weak that I'm just gonna listen to you, kind of thing? And he just explains to her, no, you would have listened to what I have to say. Even no matter what I say, if I decided to tell you something to do, I have the ability to do so. And he gives her some examples. And yeah, the examples were kind of extreme. for him to show to her that, yeah, no matter what I tell you, even if I tell you to kill Suzaku, even if I tell you to kill all the Japanese, you would do it. And on his third example, it wasn't like he just said kill all the Japanese and she did it. On his first example, it just so happened that his Geass activated on its own. Okay, we already established that that power kind of started working on its own, like he was kind of losing control in another episode, and that kind of shit. And the thing is with him looking at her, there are so many like worse examples of him not being able to look at his opponent and activating the power throughout the show, like from far distances and shit and all that kind of stuff. So the whole thing that, oh man, it just so happens he was looking at her, I really don't buy that at all. I mean, they were talking, they were close. It is basically like a common thing to look at each other's face when you talk most of the time. So, that it's not as crazy as this guy was making it out to be. Anyway, so yeah, it is very unlikely and it really sucks that it had to happen, but it wasn't impossible. It isn't impossible. And this isn't bad writing. It's actually like the opposite. I don't want to go if this was, I don't want to say this is like super great writing. This was a genius thing to do. Of course it wasn't, but it was the decision that the writer, they decided to go with. And it actually kills two birds with one stone. I'm going to talk about this, but it isn't bad writing because we are stimulated in this way. We get so emotionally involved, and you feel the pity. You feel like the wish, man, I wish things turned differently. So it's kind of like, I don't want to say genius. I don't want to say like it's super great. It's super smart, but it's not bad writing. That's for sure. It's just negative stimulation, not positive stimulation. And if a show manages to do that, I mean, of course, this doesn't work always, just stimulating somebody negative for the sake of doing that. But, in this case, it just makes sense. It wasn't like something that wasn't logical at all. It is very unlikely, yeah, but not impossible. That's the thing. That's why it's such a tragedy and such an emotional pity for the viewer. And yeah, it's all about that negative stimulation, that kind of shit. Also, if they didn't do this, uh, I mean, they only had a couple of episodes left for the first Code Geass, and if Lelouch and Euphemia just went ahead and they agreed and she didn't die, or something like this didn't happen, they wouldn't have enough episodes to expand on the special zone for the Japanese, their zone kind of shit, you know. So uh, I mean, of course, that's not an excuse, but I just see that as another thing that, okay, happened. But while this scene is just so sad, while this scene is just so, horrible, such a tragedy, and such a shame for the characters, uh, it is not impossible. That's the thing. And if you think about it this way, I mean, how many times in anime, super positive, unlikely things happen on crucial moments that you would think, why don't they get the same treatment? They get a pass because that's what the viewers expect expect this shit to happen. I mean, for example, like let's say some people are gonna die and the hero just turns up just at that moment to save them. It's one of the other. It's a thing that how unlikely can this be? Like it just so happens he shows up. If he showed up 1 second later, they would be dead. But he just showed up on that second to save them, kind of thing. Like for example, you know, all these sorts of things happen in anime all the time and in shows all the time. But because a lot of the times we as the viewers we sort of at that moment, okay, we expect, okay, this is going to happen, the hero is going to show up at this moment, or this is going to happen, I expect this is going to happen. This is why uh, they kind of get a pass. But by this logic, they should be bad too. So it's bad writing because it's a negative result that everybody didn't want to happen. I mean, I didn't want Euphemia to die like that, at least. And, Lelouch, it still hasn't cleared up that misunderstanding with Suzaku and all that shit. But, you know, that's just, it's not bad writing. I mean, for me, the worst part of writing happens in R2. And that whole shit where his whole crew just automatically just doesn't trust him after that guy, his older brother, like the blonde guy, comes and tells him, this is the shit. This guy has this power and he did all this kind of thing, and all this stuff with the Akasha ruins and what have you. And there's a lot of bullshit in R2, but I mean for R1, this scene, while definitely terrible in terms of the tragedy, it's just not bad writing. Uh, it sucks, like I've said, but it's just not impossible. It's just the worst case scenario at the worst moment, and it just happened. But guess what? This can happen in real life too. I know from experience, and many people who know, just how many times something happens that you think, man, what are the odds of this happening? And it just happens. On that crucial moment, you get that bad luck, you get that terrible thing that happened. Like this situation, what happened with Lelouch and Euphemia, was like the worst case scenario, the worst thing that can happen on this crucial moment. But I say this once again, it was not an impossibility. You know, it's not an impossibility, and it happened. The writers did this to kind of give us all that, man, what a shame sort of thing. I mean, what are the odds? I wish it didn't happen kind of shit. And if you ask me, it worked. They really just got me. I was like so sad that this happened. And that's the point of, you know, writing and shows and directing and that kind of thing a lot of the times. Of course, to stimulate the viewer, of course. All about that shit. So, this is my opinion. Of course, I know a lot of you guys are still gonna hate that scene and think it's just shit and what have you. I mean, this guy definitely the best guy ever. He thinks that way. Uh, that's okay. I subscribe to the dude. I think, he has some good videos, I think. I don't necessarily, of course, I'm not going to agree with everything. But, I thought he was kind of hilarious, kind of funny. So that's why I subbed. But I really thought I wanted to make this video too. I was inclined to give my own opinion after I saw this. And I think I'm going to do this not all the time, but it is going to happen when I feel like it. I've already done this before with other videos when I see something and I just want to give my taste. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys subscribe, leave a like, share this with your friends. Even though this is an anime video and I do this kind of random videos, anime videos and what have you for my other interests, this is a Pokemon channel, a Pokemon TCG primarily channel. It's primarily for the TCG, but it is Pokemon in general. So just letting you guys know. But yeah, I still hope you guys subscribe, leave a like, share this with your friends. And I've been Saber94. What's up?